Hey everyone, don't forget, On the Runs is sponsoring the Funny for Funds comedy night featuring top local comedians to benefit Comedy for the Kids, supporting MGH pediatric patients. Remember Sarah from episode 8? She is running for Run for MGH, and that is her, what do you call it, a fundraising group, right? Okay, Erika's nodding.
Charity.
Yeah.
It's a charity.
Thank you. So she's running for Run for MGH, trying to raise her goal so she can run in the Boston Marathon. Tickets are $20. Visit either of our Instagram pages or check out funnyforfunds.com/events. That's funny for the number 4, funds.com/events to buy your tickets. Hope we'll see you there, and we'll have stickers and magnets for you. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of the On the Runs podcast. We're back at Erika's house after our remote location last week. It's April. The snow is melting. The birds are chirping. It's getting warmer every day, and Erika is finally running outside again. Erika, what's up?
I am so much happier now that the weather's getting nicer. Although I think we're getting some rain this week, but weather looks good for this weekend, and we'll get into why this weekend is important.
Absolutely. Let's tell everyone where we are. We're not in your kitchen, dining room,
No,
studio.
we have been banished into my spare bedroom because Brandon is home.
It's a lot like your downstairs pain cave. You got Christmas lights on the wall.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about the ambiance, man.
You got all these posters about running.
Yeah, well, that's just Big Sur. I liked that one.
Well,
it's got like a VW Beetle in it, and then...
I'm looking at one here. 26.2 miles is Wicked Smaht. We're going to be talking a lot of Wicked today, but tell me a story about that poster.
So that is a placard thing that came from my, what was it? The 2018 Boston Marathon dinner that we had for my charity team. We were all taking pictures of it, and I don't know if my mom's going to get in trouble for this, but she totally swiped that for me, and I've kept it ever since.
Way to go, Mom.
Yeah, it was awesome.
October 7th, 2018. What's this? Chicago.
I can't really look at it, but yeah.
Yeah, well, Erika here can't look because of
Yeah,
cables.
I'm in an awkward situation with the cords and stuff like that.
Am I in here?
You may be. You can do like a Where's Waldo kind of thing with that.
Looking at a picture collage there.
Yep, that's from like college. Yeah, so this is like a blast from the past in this room.
Tell everyone what are in all those little boxes.
Oh, man. So I have quite the collection of Funko Pops. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but they're just really cute and fun. I've got a bunch of like Twilight ones, and yeah, you can tell my nerdy side from this. Harry Potter ones, Bob's Burgers, and Deadpool. I got them all, so...
We need this to be a video podcast.
Right? I didn't tell you what I got. Do you see that guy over there? Carl the Flamingo.
Oh.
I got myself a Gooder mascot, and it's a flamingo of all things, so I'm very excited about that too.
I've picked out my first pair of Gooders.
You did? Did you get the special ones you were telling me about?
I haven't bought them yet, but I'm going to get the Amelia Boone ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I think the color works for me.
Mm-hmm.
They're very gender neutral, right? Bright
I think
teal.
I have that pair.
I know, and we'll wear them together.
Yes.
I love them. They're cool. They
are
look great.
Beautiful. I love everything Gooder, so.
All right, we got to correct something from the last episode. Not correct, but just, fix.
I cannot believe we forgot about this. It broke my heart once we figured it out, like 10 minutes after we stopped recording. But this is a huge, extra big shout out to Tara Sweeney for being the best spectator we've ever had. She just went above and beyond for us during the Shamrock half marathon the other day. She carried our stuff. Well, your stuff. Dave's stuff.
Everything I had in my pockets of like, would you carry this? Could you carry that?
She was like, of course.
Yeah.
And she followed us around. She was taking pictures. She was just the most extraordinary spectator, just super cheerful, cheering everybody on.
She had a big bag, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give you a t-shirt and then a sweater in case I get cold, and up here's, a hat in case my head gets cold because I don't have the beautiful hair like the rest of you to keep my head warm.
Yeah.
Here are my keys, my wallet, my phone, everything. And can you please take pictures of us?
Yeah, we asked a lot of her, but she delivered. She was wonderful. So Tara, if you're listening, thank you so much for everything the other day. We were so sorry we forgot to shout you out because it's those beers. I blame the beers.
And it looked like you and Dave had a wicked awesome time in Atlantic City.
Yes, congratulations to you guys, especially your first race in 2 years. I saw.
Yeah,
loved that picture of the wings. By the way, got to get me one of those.
The wing pictures, I see those more and more and more. I thought it was just a Nashville, Tennessee thing, but I see it more and more and more.
Well, that was Atlantic
Everywhere now
City,
has wings painted on the side of a building, and everyone gets a picture. It's cool, but at one point,
It's for the Instagram, man.
It is. It's for the gram. All right. What did you do this past weekend? Any races, any events?
You know what? I did not have any races for a change. I took a weekend off, but I did hit my 800th run, and I took a live class with my girl Bex, my favorite Peloton trainer. Yeah. And she gave me another wonderful shout out that it puts a pep in your step. So it was a 45-minute endurance run, I think. And then I immediately hopped onto a 75-minute Power Zone endurance ride.
800 runs.
Yes, 800. And that was going from, I think it was like May of 2020, June of 2020 is when I started my streak. So yeah, it's a lot of runs, and I'm ready to hit like the 1,000 and go above and beyond. I'm good. I'm ready.
Awesome.
Not stopping.
I'm coming up on 300 rides. Not as impressive as 800 runs, but I'm going to do
That is a lot
one.
of work, man. Those rides.
Well, it's well over 200 in the past year, and realistically, I have a lot more than 300. But on the work Peloton, we're a work account, and I did a lot of rides there online on my laptop and my normal road bike on the Kicker before I got the Peloton.
Yeah.
So I'm probably closer to 500, but Peloton says I'm 3, and I'm fine with that. So we'll go live ride Saturday, 75 minutes with my boy Matt.
I don't know if I'm going to join that ride, but maybe I'll hop on for some high fives because
I'll take.
I have a marathon coming up. But
all right, we'll get into that.
We're going to talk about it later. Okay.
But I think we're on the Peloton talk. And I think this will be a little bit of a Peloton-heavy episode.
Yes.
Let's get into that and why.
So we have an awesome guest coming up for you guys. So you've heard us talk about our Power Zone Pack team called the Wicked Smaht Zone. And we have the founder, Josh Vernon, coming on, and he's going to talk about all things Peloton.
All things Peloton, all things Power Zone Pack, all things Wicked Smaht Zone, and Do Wicked Good, his new thing going on. All right, so yeah, let's get to the episode early and we can keep talking after, but we don't want to keep you waiting, so here we go, guys. Our next guest is the founder of the Power Zone Pack group, Wicked Smaht Zone, a group that he has grown to over 1,600 New England-based members over the past year. Along with that, he has a new venture called Do Wicked Good. You can tell Wicked's going to be a word. It could be a drinking game for this episode. And he's coming to us to share his journey, how his wife almost doubted him to stay in shape, and hopefully we'll get a few good stories along the way. Josh, welcome to On the Runs.
Eric, thank you for having me, and I appreciate you and Erika bringing me on board. It's a fun journey, and I'm glad I can get to chat with you guys a little bit.
Yeah, this is a nice treat, Josh. We've heard a lot about you from the Facebook group, so it's nice to put a face to the name. So why don't we jump right in? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you do for a living?
Well, that could take a long time, but I'll keep it to a podcast length.
Perfect.
So I live in Massachusetts, born and raised in Massachusetts, out in this area in Central Mass, near Hopkinton for all you runners, where the marathon starts.
Oh, perfect.
Just down the road. Went to college in Virginia and then kind of moved back to the Boston, Watertown area after that, started a family and a little traveling here and there and went and moved to the Virgin Islands for a few years and chasing a dream. So we can get into that a little bit, but it's good to be back in Massachusetts. I moved back in 2018 and kind of turned my life around and went from family man, having too much fun, not working out to now back working out.
He reminds me of myself a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grew up in New England, went to college around, well, you went to Virginia, but then I moved just like he moved and then comes back home, finds himself again, gets out of shape, tries to get back in shape, sounds a lot like me.
You guys got a lot in common.
We'll be talking after this a little bit more too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I played soccer growing up. I played all sports growing up. I played soccer in college. I was a goalkeeper, so I was that not in shape soccer player, anyways. But I like to say differently. Goalies were always one of the best athletes on the field. This is the way we look at it. So it was just, I always played sports growing up, and I played sports a little bit when I moved back to Massachusetts after college and stuff, but work, family, everything. So it was just like men's league stuff, and it wasn't like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and then it was like hardly ever. And going out and doing things with friends just took precedent over myself and staying fit, and just kind of lost it. I got a challenge from somebody, and then we'll get into that a little bit more, but it was, it turned my whole life around.
At what age do you think you lost it? Like, were you in your 20s and that's kind of like, was this before family or is this after family even started?
No, I would say so once I wasn't on the soccer team anymore and I was just doing college. So like freshman, sophomore year, I was playing. Junior, senior year, I wasn't. So it kind of started there. And then I would say just after school. I mean, I was still athletic enough to be able to stay in shape and do things on the side, pickup leagues and real baseball and real soccer and go out and play. But I would say in my mid-20s, it was like by that point, it was sports became like an afterthought.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us, I think, can relate to that. You know, if we're not a professional athlete, you get out of college or, you know, hanging out with your boys and a few beers at a Bruins game and or a Red Sox game catches up and you're not playing enough soccer or hockey or baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That happens to all of us, I would say. And then by the time we hit our 30s, we kind of think, oh, I want to run more. It's like weird how we run more in our 30s and work out more.
Yeah. I'm glad I picked it up now because I'm in probably better shape than I was in my 20s. Definitely in better shape than I was in my 20s. So, yeah, Peloton and running and all this stuff totally turned me around. I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah, I'd say I'm in the best shape of my life right now.
Very nice.
And that says a lot. I mean, I was in pretty good shape going into college, but I would challenge my 19-year-old self any day now.
And you would say a lot of that has to do because of Peloton?
Absolutely, Peloton. The turnaround for me started when I lived in the Virgin Islands. I lived there for almost 3 years and lived through two of the worst hurricanes ever.
Oh, wow.
And kind of helped rebuild the islands for a few months. And my daughter was going to school in the States, and my ex-wife had left for rehab. So there was a lot of things going on. And I was like, you know what? I called my mom and I said, I'm out. I'm done. I need to come home, done rebuilding. And that was January of 2018. And got my daughter back at the end of that school year full time and met my now wife, Janine. Then we got engaged in 2019 and started planning the wedding. And even then I was still like, I had stopped drinking, right? I stopped drinking 3 years ago this coming weekend. So I have a 3-year, haven't had any alcohol.
Congratulations.
In 3 years. So thank God for athletic brewing too, because at least now I can have like a drink of less than 0.5%.
There you go.
Big fan of those guys. So I was getting in better, healthier. And then I stopped smoking cigarettes because I had been smoking cigarettes, but not a lot at this point. And that was going into the summer of 2020. Our wedding was going to be in September of 2020 in the middle of COVID. And I got a Facebook message from a friend of mine who lived in the Virgin Islands still in St. John. And he was from Massachusetts originally, but he's a personal trainer. And he's like, dude, I know you're doing well and things are great up there. We're doing this virtual 6-week transformation challenge. It has nothing to do with how much weight you lose or anything like that. Just accountability, check in every day, take some pictures and put them up on the Facebook group that we create privately. And
nice.
I was like, sure.
So that's good. You're creating good habits and starting to get back into the swing of things. Yeah, that's good. We're trying to do that with our friends right now. We're getting out of the winter slump right now, so we're trying to get ourselves back into the motivation and thankfully these challenges, the PZP challenges come along every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and that keeps me on track for sure.
We're doing the Emma Lovewell Crush Your Core challenge because I said I got to get my gut in gear. My butt's in perfect shape. I got to get my gut in gear.
Today's day 1 though, so we got to wait for that. Yeah,
she's been promoting that. I've looked at it. I've seen it come across my Instagram story. So I don't know.
Her 5-minute ones are fine, but when she gets into the 10 minutes and the 15 minutes, I'm like, oh no. She's tough. She's tough. But Olivia, her abs, I don't even go near those. No way.
Olivia has a 30-minute core.
It's ridiculous.
Hard pass for me. Thank you.
And she doesn't even sweat, probably.
No, doubtful.
So yeah, it was, for me, it was, I needed that challenge to push me to do more than what I was doing. I think I got a bike to go outside and ride with my daughter. It was a mountain bike. I was like, whatever, I'll get a bike. I haven't ridden a bike in forever. And we just moved into a new house. We bought a house in my hometown, which I never thought I'd do. So I was outside doing a lot of yard work, laid off at the beginning of COVID. So I had a lot of time and was outside a lot and felt good. And I was like, I'll take this 6-week challenge on. And it was with a whole bunch of friends I hadn't seen in a couple of years. It just happened to end on our wedding weekend. So my now wife, thought that I was doing this challenge just to get in shape for our wedding and for the honeymoon. And that'd be it. It was a fad. Like I'd worked out with her like 1 or 2 times before and it stopped. So she was like, nah, this isn't going to continue. And how convenient is it that it ends on you? I was like, I didn't pick the end date of this. I mean, it just happened to be that date. And hey, go figure. I won this challenge too.
Yes.
So I think it paid for like our first dinner on our honeymoon. That's about it.
Oh, money reward. That's nice.
Money reward. Yeah. So we all chipped in. It was like a fundraiser for like Super Bowl squares. Half the money went to the winner. Half the money went to the organizer.
Nice.
So it was something that got me going because it was structured. And that structured piece was something I didn't have the tools yet to motivate myself to do something without that structure. And he had workouts and everything. And then you could kind of modify it. So I started running more and doing some of the cardio stuff outside. And all of a sudden I started liking running, which I had never been a long distance runner before. And it really picked up how I was able to handle doing some of the other Tabata and HIIT and like push-ups and squats and all that stuff, just kind of all rolled together.
Awesome.
So you start running, and I think you did the BAA events?
Yeah, so that, again, I mean, we all had to fill our time during COVID. And in 2020, the BAA came up with the finisher challenge, which was the 5K, 10K, and a half marathon by the end of the year. So I think it was at that point, maybe 3 or 4 months you had if you caught it at the beginning and signed up. So I was in pretty good shape and knocked out the 5K pretty quickly, knocked out the 10K maybe a couple of weeks later before it got really cold. We're New Englanders. It's not the greatest here starting in October, November.
Exactly.
Right. So we got one of those early snowstorms and I was outside shoveling and wasn't really paying attention. It's early, but it was that slushy, heavy stuff and popped my back a little bit. And I had just started riding the Peloton. I'd always told my wife that fake workout you do on the bike, like she got it and I'd never even used it.
The bike that goes nowhere.
The bike that goes nowhere. And that's like, but she's in like the greatest shape. And I was like, luckily she got the bike right before the COVID rush too. So we had the bike and I was like, I'll start using it. And I started taking some Alex classes and Tunde classes. I think Tunde was my first one. I did a 45-minute like hitting arms or something.
You jumped right into that. Tunde is no joke either. I'm doing her arms challenge right now and she's kicking my butt. I'm getting some guns though. It's pretty good.
She's unbelievable.
She is. She really is.
So I don't know how I got back on after that ride, but I did. But I went outside and ran more. And then that first snowstorm hit, hurt my back. And I was like, well, I can't run anymore. And I still have this half marathon that I got to run. And I've never run a half marathon. I had never run a 10K. I think the longest I had ever run was 5 miles for soccer. We had like a 5-mile test. So I'm now running longer than I've ever run. And I've got to do this by the end of the year. And my back's hurt. So I got on the bike and it felt all right. And I was like, discover your Power Zone programs. What's that all about? So I think I Googled it and I was like, I'm going to hop on and do that. Again, structured, right? I knew what classes I had to take. Still had no idea the power of Power Zone training.
Yes.
But I did the whole, I think at that point it was a 4-week Discover Your Power Zone program, set my FTP, took that crazy ass FTP test for 20 minutes.
Speaking of that, the April Fool's joke the other day, I totally fell for that because a 60-minute FTP class that Matt would do, he would 100% do that, I feel like. So I totally bought that.
I missed it.
Did you? Oh, a friend of mine had sent it to me. I think Karen Lincoln was showing it around and I was like, oh my God, who would do that to themselves? But I had no idea. It didn't even occur to me. It was April at that point. And
I have to talk April Fools real quick. Ashley and Adeline got me wicked good.
What happened?
I walked in the house. There's Oreos right there on the counter. All right. I love Oreos. I don't know if you do, but I'm like, oh, I'm going to grab 1 or 2 Oreos. And I just grabbed the ones right in the middle. When I'm eating it, I'm like, this tastes really funny. They set me up. They put it right there. They put toothpaste.
Oh, God. Ew.
Toothpaste instead of the cream.
See, that would be weird for me because I like the minty Oreos. So it would be like, these are a little mintier than usual.
They got me good. So good job, Ashley and Adeline.
But anyways, yes, back to your FTP.
Not to be, and not to one up the April Fool's thing there. I mean, Karen did post that on the group page, and that 60-minute test is ridiculous. I think I fell for it for a few seconds, and then it was like, no way. But my wife and daughter, Janine and Mia, my daughter, they don't believe I can get fooled and tricked. So they went all out this year. I don't like cotton balls. They give me that heebie-jeebie feeling whenever I see them, touch them, whatever. However you want to. It just so that and I've gotten better with it. I just don't let my daughter know that. But they put it everywhere, in my sneakers, in my coffee mug, my Yeti. I mean, it was everywhere I had to go that morning. It was there. And I had to leave the house that day. I was actually going to work. So I had to put all these things on and touch them all. Then I get home from work that day. And this was Friday, right? My father-in-law's here and everyone's just normal. And they're like baking in the kitchen. I was like, sweet, I'll have some cake pops, chocolate covered cake pops or whatever. So my wife leaves for the night to go out to a dance competition. And my daughter and I are sitting around. I'm like, I finished dinner. I'm going to have one of these cake pops. And there were like 20 of them sitting on the counter. And they left me the dishes to do. And I was like, all right. So I go and grab my first cake pop and I bite into it and the chocolate comes right off. It's awesome. And then I like go to bite the center and it's a freaking Brussels sprout.
I was expecting a cotton ball somewhere. I'm like, oh no, that's gross.
Yeah, I guess that cotton ball's there, but no, a Brussels sprout. And I hated Brussels sprouts growing up. I'm again acclimated to them a little better, but it wasn't cooked and it was just like, no. And then I was like, you wasted all that good chocolate. But they got me good. So then I was like, I'd rather take my FTP test.
Well, props for them. That's a really creative April Fool's joke. That is a lot more effort than I would want to put into that. So props to them.
They're already planning next year. It's unbelievable.
Oh no. Brace yourself.
Yeah. So the FTP test, I took the first one. And now you guys have all taken them, right?
Yes, yes.
You're like, yeah, I got this. And you're like, you don't know how good your FTP is. And then you start doing some more power zone rides and you're like, this is way too easy. This is way too easy. And I tell everyone now in the group, like it takes at least 3 FTP tests before you might get zones that are right for you. But it helped me get in shape with a back injury. And I loved it. I finished the Discover Your Power Zone programs right around Christmas of 2020. And I had to get that half K in or the half marathon in. And on New Year's Eve, we were leaving to go up to New Hampshire or Maine or something. And I was like, I'm going to run it in the morning. And I got out, made I made a loop that was like 3 laps for me perfectly in my neighborhood, virtually all by myself. And I started my watch, started my Strava. I had to like make sure it actually like recorded. I had like all these things going.
Yeah.
And Janine and Mia like would be out at the end of the street based on my pace at the end of the driveway when I come by a couple of times with water and banana, and never run a half marathon, knew what my pace was for a 10K. And somehow I ran all by myself and came in under 2 hours. And I was like, I don't know if I'll ever do that again, but I'm pretty psyched with that.
That
and
is
I had
fantastic.
Run maybe once.
Way to go. Banging out a sub 2 on your first try. Like that's.
You beat me.
Yeah. That's epic.
But this is coming out of those challenges, and like it was just like all around in good shape. Like it also it's kudos to that, right? It's not just running, it's not just biking. Like I had done a lot of stuff personal training wise, and it just added all of that mobility, flexibility, core. Like it's just all plays into it. I don't think I could run that right now, even though I think I'm in great shape. But
well, you might be able to. Erika and I have been running together for years. And until you got the Peloton, I was kicking your butt, and then you've just like took it up to another level.
I wave to him as I lap him. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not really the Peloton, it's the Power Zone training.
Oh yeah. I do owe a lot of my newly found speed to Power Zone training. It's
legit.
Turned it around.
As you said earlier, it's legit.
For real.
So let's get into Power Zone training. We already know how you found it, but how about Power Zone Pack? How do you find that?
So right after New Year's, I saw this Pelofondo thing, and I was like, okay, I'll hop on and ride 50 miles over 2 days or whatever it may be. I think I signed up for 30, and then I upped it to 50. And again, I was like in that crazy mindset because I was like in shape again. So I just kept upping my miles, and I did the Pelofondo, and I posted on social media that I had done all these miles. And then all of a sudden, all my Peloton friends start coming out, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. You should join our team for the Power Zone Pack Challenge. And this was one of my coworkers, Sam Ricks, who I used to work with, hadn't talked to in years. She had a team in the Power Zone Pack Challenge. So I joined it. I didn't know anyone but her. And you guys now know how the Facebook teams work and all that.
Yeah.
And you virtually are high-fiving everyone. And we had our hashtag. Shout out to the Easy Peasy team. They got me going on this. And that challenge was awesome. My FTP numbers went up. My power to weight ratio went down. And I was like, or power to weight ratio went up. Like everything's great. But it missed that community aspect. And for me, I've built other Facebook community groups before, and I just love that aspect of it. And we're New Englanders. We love to do things in a group and in a team and cheer each other on. And I just felt like there was that Peloton Massachusetts group. There was a Peloton Boston group. And I was like, let me throw out a feeler and see how many people would be interested. And at the same time, I asked Angie Verbeck, who ran the Power Zone Pack, maybe 4+ years into it at this point, since she had started it. And she was one of the Peloton OGs. I'm like, she knows what she's doing. She knows how to put these schedules together. Let me see if we can get a team. And she's like, you got to have 125 people for me to say, okay, let's add a new team. I put out a couple questions. People were like, yep, definitely. Came up with the name Wicked Smaht Zone, like real quick. Somehow I just my wife's like, you're crazy. This is never going to work.
It was Wicked Smaht.
No way. By the way, she couldn't believe I'm still actually working out. She's like, that bike to nowhere, that fake workout that I do. And now she's like giving me crap. She still wasn't into Power Zone training, but now she was going to because of my Wicked Smaht Zone team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the first day I had the Facebook community group up for Wicked Smaht Zone, we went over 200, 300 people.
Wow.
Now, are all of them going to do the challenge? That's the different thing. So I built the community up to about 500-600 people. I think by the time we started that next challenge, which would have been the winter challenge.
Winter last year, right? Winter 2020.
Spring challenge, right? The spring challenge, because this is our 5th. So it was the spring challenge of 2021.
Okay.
We ended up having close to 300 people on our team. So way over double what we needed and all this. And then the Wicked Smaht Zone High Five community was born, and everyone loved riding together. And we were all figuring it out. It was just my co-leads then were Lynn and Mary Ellen. Mel's the one that plays the Peloton Wordle every day that you guys see. And
yeah, you guys got me into playing that too. I was big into Wordle, so I play like Wordle, and if you've heard of Hurdle with the music, that's really fun too.
I have no clue what it is. I see the post. I keep scrolling. I have no clue. Tough with time.
I haven't joined yet either.
I'll teach him.
Hey, Erika, when did you join the Wicked Smaht group?
So I am relatively new to the Wicked Smaht Zone. I started, I think this particular challenge is my second challenge with the team. So I started, the one that was in January was my first one with you guys. I don't even remember what my last team was. The last challenge I did was back, whatever, it was like, it ended right before September or something like that. So I had taken a little bit of a hiatus because it was getting into marathon season. So
you and I are the same then. You got me to do Power Zone Pack the winter before, Josh, you started your group. So I did it with you, but I was on my bike on a smart trainer. I did not yet have a Peloton. Then I tried to do in the fall a challenge, but I was on a 4-ride a week, and that just got in the way of hockey with refereeing. And then you got me to join Wicked Smaht Zone back in the winter, so that was the same first one as you.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You guys are, it's one of my favorite groups because you guys are just super active in it, and everybody's so encouraging and yeah.
Well, when I did it,
and I think that part of it is that's the key to it, right? It's not overdone, and it's not overdone by people you feel like you don't even know. We're all in this same weird speaking,
it's perfect.
Athletic vibe that we are from New England. And even if we have some stragglers who aren't in New England, they still want to be like us, and they want to be a part of the community.
It's true.
And it's like, it can never be too much to me. And everyone's going to root for something. It might not be something like that we all take a look at or every post that we read, but there's 100 people that might read that. And that part of it is so cool to me. And just building up outside of the Power Zone Pack, to me, that was the reason for it.
Yeah.
The challenges were going to be like what gets us together. But the rest of it is really what I knew could help grow the group.
100%, because the first 2 times I did Power Zone Pack, I was on a team. I knew nobody. I didn't really pay attention to the Facebook group. I just joined because I kept getting the email, join our Facebook group. And I felt like I had to join, like it was a requirement. And then you and I got involved with Wicked Smaht Zone in the winter. And all of a sudden it's like we're all best friends. We all know each other. You know, maybe
we're getting to know each other. Yes.
And you're very active, and partly you would tag me in a thing or two, and I would always see you responding, and then that gave me the encouragement to be like, all right, I'll respond. You know, and I don't do anything on Facebook. And then all of a sudden, I only re-downloaded it on my phone because of this podcast. And now I'm on it all the time, and I'm always reading what we have in Wicked Smaht Zone. The what do we call it? The Mighty Boss Zones.
Mighty Boss Zones.
Mighty Boss
Mighty
Zones.
Boss Zones.
Yeah. So I'm on that all the time now, looking at it and looking at our stuff, and every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my friend Chrissy. She's the one who got me into Power Zone training in the first place. Actually, she's the one who convinced me to get a Peloton.
Yeah, thank you, Chrissy.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't need a bike. I'm never going to use the bike. And of course, here I am. Like, I'm at like 330 rides. Like, I'm on my 7th Power Zone Pack challenge. Like, 2nd with you guys. But it's good to keep motivated. Like, yeah, it's great.
So she's a runner.
Yes.
And we would be running, and I would run with her as part of my training runs for Ironmans. And I was like, you got to get a bike and try. And she goes, never will happen.
Hard pass.
Then she gets the Peloton bike, and now she's super strong on the Peloton bike and doing this training. The other day, she goes, you did a Peloton, you did it in reverse order, but you did your 800th run with Bex, and then you did the 75-minute ride that we had to do for Power Zone Pack. I go, you're going to be a triathlete. You did it in the wrong order. You went run bike.
No, you said duathlete.
I said you'll do a duathlon.
Duathlon.
I said you'll do a duathlon first, but one day, even if it's a sprint triathlon.
See, the swimming is where you're going to have to really convince me, but I could do, so I was looking it up. There are some in like the New England area where it's like a 2-mile run, you do a long bike ride and then a longer run. I can totally do that.
You're going to do it.
I'll stick to that.
It's going to happen. Well, hey, we'll start with that, and then we'll get her into a sprint triathlon, and then one day we'll all be in Lake Placid cheering her on as she's doing her first Ironman.
Oh, jeez.
It sounds like once she starts something, there's like no holding her back. So I'm not going to second guess you on that one.
I got me some big goals, but I don't know if a try is there yet. We'll work on it.
You got your first try coming up, right?
I do.
Just
what you're talking about. I'm doing. My brother has done I'm the oldest of 3 boys. So again, competitive family, all played sports. My youngest brother is 6 years younger. He's done a bunch of tries before, and he loves the Cohasset try. So that one's at the end of June. So I haven't really started focus training on it yet, but everything I do is kind of building up to it. I got the hydro, so I row, and I've got a treadmill. So I don't have a Peloton treadmill, so I can't keep track of all my metrics, which bugs me.
One day, same for me, one day.
I recently upgraded, and it's game changing. Literally, the metrics is why I wanted to upgrade. So
yeah, and we got ours right before we decided to turn our entire basement into our gym with a little bit of TV room.
Nice,
but we got a really nice treadmill. It's just no metrics. I mean, it's like trying to figure out Strava, which turn the GPS off and all that stuff. And it's like, I'll get it down, but it's outdoor running season anyway. So we're good.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's a short swim, but apparently the water's like 58 degrees at that point.
Do you have a wetsuit?
I got to get a wetsuit. I don't have one. So all those years living in the Virgin Islands, I never became a scuba diver, which bugs me, but I'll get a wetsuit. I've been told to rent one this first try, but we'll see.
Here, I bought one, but I got to demo one first. And then there's Zone 3, which is out of the UK, I think. They got a bunch of deals all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm dropping a lot of money for this PAMAS Challenge fundraiser that we're doing right now with all my bike kits and jersey kits. And I was like, I got to hit the submit button on my cart right now tonight. So
we'll get into that later. Let's keep it up with PZP and Wicked Smaht Zone, all right? So recently we're in the news, right?
We were.
Tell us about it.
So part of the whole community aspect and having it be a regional community gives you the ability to do a little bit more of focused fundraising. And I've always been a fan of having a cause behind the group itself too, right? It keeps everyone interested. Everyone's got a reason to want to donate to certain causes. My wife, Janine, lost her mom to lung cancer. We knew a lady, Diane Legg, in Massachusetts, who still does like the PAMAS Challenge, still rides Peloton, and is a 14-year lung cancer survivor.
Wow.
Still going at this point, 15 years maybe. So we had reached out to her to do a quick fundraiser. It was actually these sweatshirts and some other T-shirts that we had printed. All of the profits went to her foundation.
Oh, wow.
That's how we started that aspect of the community, and people loved it. So around Christmas time this year, right before Christmas, I think I had seen something on Facebook about a small group of people going out to breakfast and all bringing $50 or $100 and whatever was left over from their bill, they left as a tip.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 people, 12 people. That's a good sized tip. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, we got 1,300 people, 12, it was like 11 or 1,200 people at this point.
Yes.
Because we all know what happened after. But it was, I was like, let's get together for breakfast. We're coming out of the really bad part of COVID and everyone's vaccinated and boosted at this point. So we did ask everyone to get that was vaccinated and boosted in order to come to the breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
There was a restaurant here in my town that I thought was central location enough. And I knew that people that worked there would be appreciative of a pretty nice sized tip. And we started having people reach out to me in the group that couldn't come to the breakfast, but they still wanted to donate. So I decided to open up my Venmo account and everyone started sending me money. The morning of the breakfast, which was January 9th of this year, I had $2,800 in my Venmo account and we hadn't even gone to breakfast yet. So
way to go.
We ended up,
for real.
it was unbelievable. And it would have been, I think we did this in like 3 weeks too. I mean, it wasn't even that long. And everyone wanted to chip in and everyone had been through so much. We all knew the restaurant industry had a hard time. So we felt it was appropriate. And we ended up, 21 of us had breakfast that morning. A lot of us had never met, right? A few of us had. And we got together and the total bill was with the tip we ended up leaving was just under $4,000. I think the bill was like $358 or something like that.
Wow.
That morning. So yeah, it was, and we didn't want any pictures or anything like that. We didn't want the waitresses to know. So we counted it up and I handed it to the manager as everyone walked out. We all just left and I had made the reservation and booked the room. So they had my info. The owner called me up. That was on a Sunday morning. I think the owner called me up on Tuesday or Wednesday and thanked me and said how appreciative she was. And she wanted me to know that everyone working that day in the restaurant got to share in the tip that we left. And it wasn't just the two of them and like the whole place got it.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I mean, just that right there for everyone that helped chip in the group and for the 20 of us there that day, it was about making a difference for somebody. And it ended up being a whole restaurant, which was really cool. And we didn't need anything out of it. And next thing I know, I get a phone call a week later and the owner's calling me again. I'm like, Lydia, I know we're good friends and all that. She's like, well, apparently someone in our town found out about it and he works for WBZ and he got a reporter. He got them to finally do a good story for once and they want to come out and interview you in an hour. And I was like, okay, I can. And this is a Friday night at 6:00. And I was like, all right, well, Janine and Mia, we're going to dinner at Lowell's tonight. So I sit down and do an interview with Julie McDonald from WBZ. And it was just really nice and easy to do the interview. And they put up a post about it. And then the news hit at 11:00 that night. And the story started going viral. And next thing you know, I get a phone call from NBC on Sunday morning and they're texting me while they're on air.
Wow.
Trying to piece together their version of the story. And it's Rondella Richardson. And I'm texting her because she knows the owner of Lowell's, apparently.
Small world.
And she goes, and they do the whole story and they end it. And they said, and they have this cool tagline, train hard, train smart, do wicked good. And I was like, ooh, I like that. That's not our tagline finish, but I like that.
Yes.
And then Peloton picked it up and it got tweeted out by the main Peloton page and Dara, the marketing lady, and then it got on the LinkedIn and it just kind of spread. And when you do something like that, you don't want it, or I don't expect it to get publicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice when it does because then more people see it and more people do things like that. And that act of kindness and the act of goodness spreads, which is how I saw it, right? Somebody posted on Facebook and we grew it. And who knows what happened after this.
I love it. It's just so heartwarming. It just spreads like wildfire. And I want it to spread more. There's just so much negativity and war and just heartbreak around in the world these days. And we need more uplifting, heartfelt. I need better words, but I don't know. We just need more of that in the world these days.
I'll be honest. That's the first time I heard this story. Now, I
How did you miss that?
Because in the last week when I knew we were going to talk about this, I purposely didn't look it up because I wanted to hear it for the first time. But I miss it. I think maybe in January, because you said this was the 9th, I just got on the team and maybe I wasn't looking and getting that involved in Facebook yet until this past challenge, the 8-week challenge. And I was very busy in January, if you remember.
Yes.
That's the first time I heard that story. It's amazing. $4,000 tip. How many people do you think that got spread out to? The staff?
Yeah, so I think it was probably 15, 20 people working there that day. Now, there's a side note to that too, because I went in for the news interview 2 weeks later, or a week and a half later, whatever it was. And I sat down. My wife and daughter had already eaten, but they had to leave to go to a school play. So I sat down and ate at the bar after I done the interview, and the bartender's like, "Oh, you're with that group that came in here today." Yeah, I switched my shifts that day and I didn't get to
no.
And she's like, "You know what though? This is what this community is about too." And I knew it would have an impact. And the lady who covered for her that day came right over to her house and split her portion of the bill.
Wow. I love it.
Of the tip with her. So
that's amazing.
Really cool. It's been nice going back in there every once in a while, and like some of the college age kids put like it's in their college fund, and just like kids who like workers who have to get help with daycare and babysitting and things like that to do their jobs. That's a day or two or a week that helps them out.
Yes.
So it's cool when that can happen. I hope it spreads more. I think what Peloton was going through at that time, I really pushed for them to pick it up and start to spread news. I think this was right around their bad earnings and everything going badly too. So they had some good news around it. I was like, you got to leverage this Power Zone community and Wicked Smaht Zone and everything we're doing, because I think their biggest growth opportunity is through Power Zone training. And I get that not everyone's into it, but we've seen the growth. The Power Zone pack, I think Angie sent out a list of all the team names.
Oh, there's hundreds.
There's got to be over 40,000 people in this challenge signed up. I mean,
I believe
that's insane. And there's 139,000 people in the Facebook group or something like that.
Wow.
I mean, it's just crazy. So to me, it's one of their biggest opportunities because the community is already built and the love is already there.
Yes.
What we could do with it would be bigger, but I'm going to keep doing what we're doing with Wicked Smaht Zone and take it to the next level.
All right. I got a couple questions. Tell me who Angie is, because I didn't know who she was until just recently again. Tell me who Angie is.
So Angie's the one that came up with this idea of Power Zone Pack. And I've talked to some of the OGs in our group. Joe Costa is one of them. And he used to go to the studio and do rides all the time. And he started the Power Zone Challenge stuff when she did it. So Angie, if you've ever been in a ride with her or ever looked at her Peloton profile, I mean,
she is a beast. Oh my God. She'll be on for 3 seconds and she's already at the top of the leaderboard. Like, holy crap.
It's insane,
she's
the
good.
outputs that she puts up. And then you look at her workload, like you think that her doing her run and then the 75 is that she does like back to back to back to back 75-minute rides at an average of like 275 watts. I mean, it's insane what she does. But she's been riding for a long time. She was a Peloton OG and did a lot of outdoor riding. And back then, you had a relationship with the instructors, and her and Matt and that type of training that Matt brought to the table went from Heart Zone training to Power Zone training. And she created these schedules, and people would track them. Their teams were tracked like manually.
Oh, wow.
and people would submit their team scores or whatever each week. But I wasn't part of it until recently. I'm part of that new COVID crew. That we're
Same
all
here.
part of.
Yeah.
The exponential growth, but I mean, she's built quite a following and now upgrading the technology and hopefully an app someday. So kudos to everything she's doing. I always said, I don't know how she can do this. I mean, she's up at 4 a.m. and it's like insane. She's a mom. It's amazing what she does. And it kind of drives me to do a little bit more.
She was one of the very first to have a Peloton and be on Peloton.
She was like a studio rider too, right? I think you had mentioned.
Yeah, you'll see some of the rides that we do if they're still on there or whatever,
The old ones,
as they start to get rid of some of the older ones. But yeah, Matt'll call her out while she's there. She's here on ride 2,500 or something.
Wow.
I mean, and that's back then too. So it's like
2,500.
Yeah.
She's up there.
I was saying earlier, I got ride 300 coming up.
Oh, she's like
Saturday. Ride 300 on Saturday, by the way.
Saturday for a 75-minute ride. That means a lot of chances at a call out. You got milestone. You got to pick your songs. What songs you go?
And it's my favorite instructor.
Mhm.
I got to. Oh, okay. I'm so glad you said I get two because I was debating between two, and I'll just put them both. So first is Galantis with peanut butter jelly. You probably have no clue what it is.
That one's in our Spotify playlist that I'll advertise a little bit later.
I think everybody should just YouTube that music video. And the other one will be Metallica, Whiskey in a Jar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Went really from one way to the other there.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saving
That sounds like a dentist move. You go from like crazy
I feel like Whiskey in a Jar was just in the 45-minute dentist class that we just did this past week.
Well, it might be in the 75-minute
he did like
Mac
a Nirvana
class.
to an EDM song back to a Metallica. He was definitely all over.
He talked about it. That's where I think it came up in my head.
Yeah, I get it.
I used to do a ton of CrossFit. I was part of that crowd, and I loved it. And I loved the crowd in the community in my gym. There is a workout, I think it's called Fran, and it was 21, 15, 9 thrusters and burpees. I think if I have it right. So you do 21 thrusters, 21 burpees, 15, 15, 9, 9. And I knew I was right around 5 minutes, 30 seconds. And that's about the time of Whiskey in a Jar. So I would have Kyle, the owner of the gym, when I do it, play Whiskey in a Jar. And I knew when I was getting close to the end, if the song was ending and I wasn't done, I got to pick it up, or I kind of knew where I'd be. So, man, I love that song.
That's a good strategy.
That probably would have been my number one, but I'm glad I can throw in peanut butter jelly as well.
That's awesome. Hey, you got two. So perfect weekend to do it. I looked at mine. I'm like, I could get to 650 if I did a lot of riding this week, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
Now, how do I put my request in? Because this is the first time I'm doing this.
I tagged you in that post. There's a Chris Toddy does a Google sheet or something, right? Like a Google form, and you just submit it through him.
Okay. When you hit a milestone, here's a question on Peloton. Do they know, or does it help you if you kind of like send them something or do something like change your hashtag to ride 500 or whatever? Or do they just know? Because right now I'm really at 192, but I'll have the rides. I'll be at 199 come Saturday or 299.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So they can filter by milestones, birthdays, all of that. But these rides, these mat rides on Saturday morning are thankfully for these forms, we get to submit and they get to go through and pick who they're going to do shout outs for pretty much in advance. And it's on his like computer screen that he probably has his show notes. But the other riders, if it's a smaller live ride, like a number of riders, right? They can filter by 300 and it's in order. So they'll see it. Anything you can do to call up your name and attention is going to help.
You should tag them in an Instagram post to be like, hey, Matt.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it on both. I'll do it on mine and I'll do it on the runs.
There you go.
Yeah. Give me double
a little
chance
extra.
there.
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah. I just recently changed my leaderboard.
So click on the link. Click on the link afterwards, fill out the form. And this one, they're asking give a shout out to somebody in your community. So you get to give two different shout outs.
I think I know who you should give a shout out to. I'm looking at him right now through the computer.
Are you going to be there?
Karen. No, to Karen
too.
And Sharon.
There we go. Just we'll make a list.
What Karen Lincoln has done, Karen Lincoln and Sharon have done, Alexander have done for me, and now Dave Jelly's jumped in. It gave me a chance to take this challenge off from being a lead. And Aaron has been so amazing helping out since our second challenge as a team. It was awesome to be able to step back as a lead because I've got a lot of stuff going on and wanted to take a break from it. So I think anyone in this community is worth a shout out. It's Karen and then Sharon, because she helped like bring the whole back end of what goes on to the team lead stuff. So I hope they get it. I hope anyone in the community gets it. I think the Wicked Smaht Zone is one of Matt's favorites. So we'll see if he continues.
Right
people
on.
are going to start getting.
He's my favorite.
People are going to get upset.
We're going to start taking over Power Zone. I love it.
Kind of like how you're taking over Beck's runs.
To shout out. Here's the trick to the Matt shout out is he loves a good comeback story or a return from something story or things like that. So like even on that 75-minute ride, like Ashman Ash
Yes.
got her like 2.5 minutes of fame, and he talked about her 20-minute or 20-mile run that she just did on the tri-state. So if you've got a story, put the story in and make that good for one of your requests, and then the other request do a shout out.
You got a lot of options, man. You got your work cut out for you.
I think Karen's going to get one from me. All right, Karen. How did you meet Karen and Sharon and everyone else who's helping you out?
Through the group. A lot of them had known each other at different gyms and worked out together. So one person brings 10 people to the group. And then you start they've got their little core group, and I had the people reach out and that wanted to help, and then people that comment more, right? And chat more and use the community more, kind of gravitate. And I start chatting with them a little bit more. And Karen was a natural fit to fill in as a lead. And then Misty jumped in that next challenge, and then she wanted it. So we've gone through a couple leads, and then Sharon joined Karen and I, and they're just amazing. I mean, they love doing what they do. They love the whole community aspect of it. And it was like a no-brainer. Just you guys go run with it. So and they've been to my house. They were here for we finally got to have like a housewarming party, and it was almost like a wedding party, a honeymoon party. It was like everything all at once, in like a summer party, and a whole bunch of the Power Zone team came, and they were like the first ones here and the last ones to leave.
Well, when's the next one? I want to go.
Right. Well, we got the Woo Socks.
See, I'm so bummed about that. I'm going to be in Connecticut that weekend for a half marathon, but you should go. You should take your family.
Pump the tires for the Woo Socks right now. When is it?
The Woo Socks is May 14th, and we've got a private space up on the top roof deck area for up to like 250 people. And $41 gets you admission and all the food you can eat for 2 hours.
I'm so bummed I have to miss that.
And then we get to play catch on the field after the game.
Seriously?
See, I am so bummed I have to miss that.
Hey, Connecticut's not that far from Worcester.
I'm not driving, though. This is Katie and Dan. We're going down.
I'm going to try to make it. I got to see what the kids' schedule is.
I'm catching the next one. You better believe it. So what else we got?
So this is our second annual. We'll do it again.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. And anyone else who's listening, if you got no plans this Saturday night, the 9th, we'll be at a comedy show in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yes. Our friend Sarah from episode 8, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. She's having one of her final Boston Marathon fundraisers. So we're checking that out.
So if anyone here wants to go to that, you can buy tickets at the door, and we'll have a link, and there's already a post on our Instagram. We'll do another one this week too. So that would be cool if we saw people there, but I'm going to try to make it to the Woo Sox. No promises yet, but I will definitely be at one of these events, especially the housewarming ones. That sounds awesome. But getting to go on the field and play catch, that's wicked cool.
Yeah.
All right. We've been talking for quite a bit, but we love Code Browns. And I know you don't really have the real Code Brown, but you got a Code Brown story, like an oh crap story. I want to hear this.
Yeah, so I don't, because I haven't done a lot of running. I have not had that Code Brown moment yet, but I'm sure
it's coming.
Eventually. But I did.
I hope not, for everybody's sake.
Right. But I did do my first ever like true outdoor group ride, clipped in, wearing my shoes, and I got my SPD cleats, and I'm ready. And I've got my kit on with the Peloton Road Rider kit that I bought, and 5 of us are out for a ride around, starting in Natick Center, and we go, and I'm like, all right, this is great. And we go to take our first turn, and we go up the hill, and all of a sudden somebody like slows down, so we stop, and I was like, oh sweet, oh crap, forgot to unclip.
Did you just tip right over? Oh my gosh. I don't think I can.
And then there's nothing you can do on the way down either.
Oh no. That scares me. I don't think I could ride a bike having my my feet attached to pedals like that.
It's so natural to me now. Like I would go over the handlebars so much on my mountain bike, and just instantly I would land on my feet. Wouldn't even think about unclipping. But I know the feeling. Like the first time I ever tried to ride with clips, I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Oh no.
You got to practice on like your yard. I was a kid practicing, right? And then it got it after like 1 minute. But yeah, I know the feeling. I've been there too.
Luckily, that first time it was like in the middle of nowhere. But then after that, I did it another 2 or 3 times.
What?
Was like on the side of the road. And then, but I never did it. I don't think I ever did it when we were in traffic and like in a left turn lane at a light or anything like that. But I made sure I clipped out there, but it was it was a good learning experience, right?
I had my first Century ride. My shoe broke and I couldn't get it off the pedal, so I would always take off my left foot first, but something broke and I couldn't get the clip off. So it was weird trying to do my right foot first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking the last 5 miles. So I couldn't get out of the bike until the end of the ride. And then I had to take my foot out of the shoe as the shoe's still connected. And we're like, really, something broke. We're really cranking on this thing, trying to get the shoe off, and finally did, and the cleat was broken and all. But
oh, man.
It was so weird. It just messing with my head because I would always go left foot first, and then I had to go right foot first. Yeah, I know the feeling because that first time, like, why won't my shoe come out?
Oh, man. That sounds awful.
It is true. And I'm a left footer too. I couldn't imagine that problem, but I'd have to figure it out if it happened.
Wrapping up our Peloton talk here. All right, Josh, who is your favorite Power Zone instructor?
It's Mr. Wilpers. So Matt for sure. I just love the coaching. I love the way his style is. He's a goofy, fun, he just reminds me of myself when I was younger, and he got to a much better level than we did. But it's just, I could hang out with him and make fun of him and have a good old time. But I mean, I love doing like the Alex rides. I love doing Emma's rides and any of like the Maddie type stuff. Give a shout out to the New England people.
Excellent. So what do you like for your snacky snacks and your sippy sips there?
Snacky snacks, sippy sips. I will usually have some electrolytes, noon electrolytes in my Gatorade bottle, usually an immunity and a sport, keep me going. And then, because we do the longer rides, right? We need some of that.
Yeah.
Usually a Built Bar every day. Love those. And then just some like figs and things like that to snack on, and a longer ride, maybe a banana.
Very nice. That's a lot healthier than I go. I think I have like I have a box of like Nerds, like just easy candy to eat, just a little something for sugar. But how about clothes? Like what do you usually wear when you bike? Brands?
I am
he wears his Wicked Smaht Zone kit.
You got to wear the Wicked Smaht Zone, yes.
Not yet, not until June, not until it gets here in June, but I can't wait. No, I wear bib shorts as much as possible. I don't.
You got the chamois?
Well, yeah,
they have the chamois.
Yes.
Do you wear a shirt?
It's just more comfortable.
Do you wear a shirt when you're on the Peloton?
I do.
See, I only wear it like 30% of the time now. I'm already too sweaty. I got a fan on me. I go no shirt. It's not a good look, but I go no shirt.
Are you in the Peloton Dads? Because you'd fit right in there.
No, I'm not.
You're not a Facebook community guy.
Well, he is now.
I'm becoming one.
There's some good stuff. We'll talk about the Peloton Dads group because there's some cool stuff in there that I think you would like.
All right.
And that's a cool community actually. But it's I've got a whole bunch of Wicked Smaht Zone like dry fit shirts that I normally wear, and I usually wear a headband and have the fan on the medium power.
Nice. I think we had posted a picture of my setup in the basement. I have a box fan that I hooked up with what are they?
You just
not cable ties.
You
but
got
like,
it on the rafters, and it's just like
like bungee cords.
Yeah.
So just like hanging and pointing on me. So it's pretty good setup. All right. So you mentioned you have coming up on 650 for your milestone, right? Are you going to plan something big for when you ride that? Get the crew together?
I don't know if I'll do it for 650. They're kind of like, if you've noticed too, there's no milestones for the 50s after like 500 anymore.
I did notice that, but you can still get some call outs for it. But just not a badge.
I imagine 750 would be a big number.
Normally, but I don't know if they have that as a thing.
Think it's 7891 now. So we'll see. I don't have anything planned. I typically try and get a long Saturday ride in for a shout out, but at this point, I've had a few shout outs. I'm pretty lucky there. I got a good one from Matt, like the week after that 75-minute ride. He got me on for my 600th ride. I got a shout out. So my first ever shout out was Alex. So I've gotten a couple.
Nice.
So I'm going to keep track of it and make it a live ride. I just don't know what I'm going to do at this point.
I usually get my shout outs from Bex. Bex is my favorite run instructor, and she's really good at shouting out, but I have yet to get one on the bike. Although I did, when I first started Peloton, I was the digital app user, and I did 2 live mat classes on my birthday. So I got a birthday shout out, and then I think it was like my 50th run. So I got like double the shout outs from him. So I at least got a run shout out from Matt, but still no ride ones.
When we go out like a Halloween party or something, our friends miss
he
Christmas,
embarrasses the crap out of me.
I will go on Instagram and send a video message to Bex.
Because I love her so much.
And I'll tag her and I'll be like, hey, it's Erika's on a roll right here. She's the biggest fan. And Bex will always respond like, you two look like so much fun.
Oh, I got a congratulations from her the other day. Because I tagged her in an Instagram story and she said congratulations. And I went, so.
I feel like Bex now knows who Erika is. And
vaguely, at least. That's great.
We'll get her on one day and we're going to go there in the fall, hopefully, and do a run with her and a ride with Matt.
We're gonna have to like sync up when they open that studio again. We gotta like flock to the Peloton Studios, New York.
I'm sure you already thought of it, but
everyone else.
Well, yes.
You're gonna get probably a Wicked Smaht Zone group ride there or something. I'm sure you already thought of this.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to try and put something together. Who knows just how it's going to open, soft open, whatever. But there'll be a time where we'll be able to fill that studio with all of us if they let it happen. But you talk about Bex. So Bex and Matt are my two favorite runners too, right? Yes. So I can still do the app running.
Yep.
And even the strength for runners stuff, I'll use that as a stretch and things like that. Those two are awesome.
Yep, I agree totally.
I got to give a shout out to Olivia. I feel like, she's one of my other favorites. So yeah, we talked Emma, we talked Bex and Matt. Olivia, don't want to leave you out. Love her too.
She's great, but she's just so difficult.
She's hard. She makes you work.
She does.
Do her core classes. Oh my God.
Ugh. All right, Josh. So yeah, we've been keeping you for a while, but we want to hear, you have an event coming up for your Do Wicked Good. So what's coming up soon?
Yeah, so we talked about the name Do Wicked Good and how I liked that when the newscaster Rondella mentioned it. And that newscast, I think that night I bought the domain name dowickedgood.com. My wife and I created the logo, and just 2 weeks ago, the company is incorporated. It's a benefit corporation in Massachusetts. So with that, we have a social responsibility to give back to the community. And what we've decided to do is be a lifestyle brand that inspires people to do wicked good things at every aspect of their life. So we're going to have a whole bunch of apparel and gear and things like that. And our profits, a percentage of the profits are going to go back to charities, relief charities like All Hands and Hearts, who also have an education aspect to them, and some other nonprofit partnerships that we're going to work out. But Janine is actually our benefit director. So she's in charge of keeping track of all that, and done a lot of work on social media with that, and somehow got a message saying we have an extra exhibit space at this really cool Reebok and Fit Swoop launch party for the Nano X2 running shoe. I guess now it's like, it used to be a CrossFit. Now it's more going to be towards the running realm. And they're like, you can join Vital Protein, Vital Performance, the guys from View Drink, which are the Gronkowskis, and Hyper Ice. And
you love Hyper Ice.
It's unbelievable. And these big established companies or people that know people. And next thing you know, I'm rushing now to get things printed and a table. And so yeah, that's Sunday from 9:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the Seaport at the dry dock at the Reebok headquarters. You can take classes all day long. They've got yoga, they've got restorative stuff, and then they've just got a whole general admission thing. And you can go into the Reebok store and get a discount and a lot of giveaways and free items.
That is so cool. You guys really are doing wicked good.
Wicked good things coming out of here. All right.
We're trying.
All right. Last question. And this is going to become the last question for every guest. You got to give us a song to be featured on our On the Run Spotify playlist. What song are you going to give us?
My song growing up, getting me hyped before a soccer game, was Bush, Come Down. And it was the song I always listened to pulling into my parking lot at soccer practice or soccer game. And it just stuck. And it's that one. I could play that on an FTP. I still listen to the music they play, but if I do an FTP list, that's on there.
You and I are so I would always listen to the same song or whatever song I was into right then, going into a hockey game or something. I'd be like, all right, I got 3 more minutes. Got to play this song. Got to pump up the volume and get, ready to go. I was the same way.
Love it.
Music does so much to get you pumped and amped up for things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming on and talking with us. We think it's just so awesome what you are doing with the Wicked Smaht Zone and with your Do Wicked Good.
Love the community.
It is so exciting to be a part of it. in some way.
Yeah. The Peloton community, but the Wicked Smaht Zone community has been a lot of fun so far. And I'm really happy that you and I got into it in just like less than the last 90 days.
Absolutely. And I'm hoping that we can help spread the word for you a little bit to get the word out so we can help you do extra wicked good, I guess.
That'd be awesome. Send everyone down to the Seaport on Sunday. That's a good start. I mean, it's a free event too. So,
all right, April 10th.
This has been awesome. I mean,
we're going to be running a marathon, but yeah.
Well, I'm running the marathon. You're running the half marathon.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But there's still the afternoon, man.
We can't wait to meet you someday, dude. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be wicked fun for all those people playing the drinking game right now. Hopefully, this is a wicked awesome interview.
We had a wicked blast talking to you.
All right, buddy. Thanks again. That was wicked awesome.
That was so awesome. Josh, you're cool. You're a cool dude.
Finally, really nice to talk to you. Got a lot of good Peloton talk on that one.
Yeah, it's really nice to put a face to the name, like so active in that group and
a little sound to the voice there. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so big busy weekend for us.
Yes, this is going to be a very, very busy weekend. Number 1, Saturday.
300th ride.
Yes, that's first. Yes, that's first. So Newt's doing his 300th ride with Matt, 75-minute, Saturday, 8 a.m.
Yeah, got to get those 2 song requests in.
Yep. And then Saturday night, we've got Sarah's big comedy night.
And how many beers do you think you're going to drink? Because
you know what?
You got a big race the next day. You got to carb up.
Didn't tell you this. I caved and I bought myself Alpha Flies. And they're coming on Wednesday. And I'm totally going to break them in at the marathon.
Are those the ones that Addie had?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They were on sale. Well, sale for Nike is not that cheap.
I think I'm going to add the trash can in the back of my truck, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm going to call it the Addie can.
But anyways, I bought the Alpha Flies, so I really want to see how well I can do on Saturday. Sunday. So I think beers, maybe 1, 2 max.
You got to go even. Always even.
I do like even numbers.
Yeah.
So my favorite number is 8, so that's definitely out of the question. 2, 4, 6,
or 8. I say go 10 and then see what you can run.
Oh, hard pass.
It'd be a lot of fun. Maybe we could do a beer mile later.
I'll do a beer mile, but I'm not doing it before a marathon. But see, I have to be all by myself now since you dropped down to the half.
I did. Well, I don't want to hurt myself.
Well, yes, it was a smart idea for you.
We thought originally I could run the beginning with you.
Well, yeah, but now I have to start. I start at least 45 minutes before.
And I get to sleep in a little. That still won't happen.
But I'm like, am I even going to see anybody?
No.
Do you hear that?
Maisie?
That was Maisie.
Maisie's
locked her out of the room again.
Maisie's like, I want to be part of the pod.
Yeah, she can't. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to be running pretty much by myself. But I found out KDP, we met her at the New Boston Half. She's going to be running the full. So I'll at least have somebody I know. Get some good company.
Awesome. Can't wait to see Katie. I think Denise will be there.
Last I checked, Denise said she was going to run the half, so you'll see her instead of me.
Right. Maybe I'll get to run
she was going to drop down to the half because she's running Boston.
Denise, if you want a nice, easy pace half marathon, run with me.
Yeah, hit up Newt. He's like a 2:10.
I'll talk your ear off, and it will just be like...
You guys will have a blast.
Just like that, it will be over,
and then
that was a great run.
You could stick around. You could do a little short blurb for the pod.
We got stickers and magnets. We'll do another remote. You want to do another remote?
Yeah, but you gotta hang around and wait for me. But yeah, I'm a little bit nervous now, and of course they tell you never to use like new things on race day. I'm going to have that brand new pair of shoes.
Well, this has gone long, and you all lucked out because if it didn't, you're going to hear my story about fixing a leaky toilet over the weekend. But you don't get to hear that now.
Yeah, no sex couch for you.
No sex couch.
That would have been a good story.
That's a story for another time. Someone can ask us that in the next Q&A.
Yeah,
I will answer the sex couch story.
You just need to put who wants to hear the sex couch story
in our next Q&A. If someone does that, no. I will tell you the sex couch story.
Anyway.
All right. Listen, everyone, please don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We're at On The Runs. If you want to email us and ever want to come on or just have a question or something, you can email us. Our Gmail is ontherunspod@gmail.com. Facebook, we're going to go on to Twitter soon. Check out our link tree, and that you can find. Well, if you're listening to this, you know how to find it already. So
yeah, you guys are good.
Yep. If you want stickers or magnets, come out to the event on Saturday. I'll bring some if I get to go to the Woo Sox game.
Oh, my big thing of magnets just came in, so we have a whole bunch of new magnets.
Mine comes in on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to have 100 more magnets because those were a hit.
Yes.
I think bigger than stickers.
Who wants them?
All right.
You know you do.
Anything else, Erika, that you can think of?
Nope, I got nothing for you guys, but you know the drill. Don't forget to stretch.
Hey, everybody. Don't forget, On the Runs is sponsoring the Funny for Funds Comedy Night on April 9th, featuring top local comedians to benefit Comedy for the Kids. This will be in Salem, New Hampshire for all you local people. Do you remember Sarah from episode 8? This is an event for her as she continues to close in on her fundraising goal to run in the Boston Marathon this year. Tickets are $20.
Visit our Instagram pages and also Sarah's to find the link, or you could visit that's the number 4, funds.com/events, funny4funds.com/events.